Give him a really big round of applause, because here is Francesco Contino!
Right, so I'm certain you all have an image of what is a university professor, right? Well, I met once this guy. It was a theoretical physicist. Yeah, the bad kind. And he was trying to make a point. They always are doing something like that, trying to argue or make a point. He was telling me, we're chatting about education and teaching. He was telling me, you know what? It's all right. If you can't do something well, like real science, you can still be a professor and teach it. What snob moron. I really didn't like it. I didn't dare telling him I was a professor in engineering and I was advising researchers. Yeah. Well, for me, the researcher is like a big family. And like in all big families, you have different profiles. I will not use their real name. Maybe only for one I will use it, but I'll tell you. The first one is Julia. Yes, little Julia. And I will not do a macho stereotype, but Julia is like all girls. A bit too honest. Yes. She's never picking the right data to support her theory. If she does experiments, she takes everything. She doesn't discard anything. That's not how we do science. Right? Well, raise your hand if you have never discarded one single outlier in a report. That's what I thought. The second type, it's Peter. Well, Peter is mummy's boy. He depends on his mother for everything. And when I mean everything, it's really everything. Once we had, actually I must say, he's not only mummy's boy, he's a hybrid PhD. A bit too honest and a bit mummy's boy. So when you have some situation, some surprising situation, we were together in the symposium in Washington, and well, of course his mother prepared everything, including the suitcase, with the usual, you know, a suit, shirts, the lucky socks for the presentation, and also the less usual, like a survival combat kit, swimsuit, condoms, because you never know. And she comes with his mother at the airport, and they're coming in the airport, and they go together to the terminal. I'm with them, looking a bit strange, like, what she's doing? And at the terminal, she's giving the suitcase, say, come on, boy, good luck, you never know. So we're in the plane, and yeah, we discuss about the presentation, we prepare everything, we are ready. We arrive on US soil. And for those of you who went in the USA, you know, you have this pleasure, this opportunity when you arrive on US soil to meet a very friendly border officer, Robocop. And he asked Peter, did you pack your suitcase yourself, sir? Peter was too honest. I had to present his research, while he was researched by Robocop. Well, to me, the most impressive PhD student is Joanna. Joanna is a last-minute PhD student. In the mind of Joanna, everything is fine, up until the last 2 days. So we had this conference paper she had to write, and you know, she was procrastinating his way. I mean, you all know what it is to click on this Facebook link or watch this video. Up until the moment, just 2 days before, then she starts writing. And she is a machine. She works day and night, producing results, making the graphs, writing the paper. 23 minutes before the deadline, she sends the paper to everyone, with a mildly apologizing email. Of course, I go to read it, click on the PDF, open it. Oh wonder, it's the crappiest paper ever. And deep down, I think she knows it. Joanna is best friend with Simon. That's a real name. Simon is the party PhD. Simon is not living in the same dimension as us. He doesn't obey the same physics law. It's like the stranger thing of the PhD students. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm all for party, and if you offer me a beer after the show, it will be all right. We can even go party together. But, you know, we have all been in those seminars where there was a free drink, and the whole purpose of going to the seminar... Exactly. For Simon, there is no seminar. He's just going directly to the drink. When Simon is planning in the future, it doesn't mean he's writing a dissertation. Remember, he's the best friend of Joanna. It just means he buy 2 cases of beer instead of 1 because it's football night. But Simon is always telling me, you know, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic because I'm not going to meetings. I'm only going to parties. It's not the same thing. So, after Simon, there is also, a type that is a bit difficult to describe. It's John. John is the shy PhD. You know, the one who always try to avoid eye contact by any means. And he doesn't like conferences. For example, when I'm advising him to go to, I have to hit pause for a minute here, because when professors say giving advice, what they actually mean is giving order, okay? So when I'm giving order to go to a conference, he's not very motivated. But he has a technique, really amazing technique. Imagine he's going on stage, and the chairman calls him, present him, etc. He goes on stage, and all of a sudden, he disappears, like a ninja, behind the desk, behind the curtain, behind the chairman, I don't know. And you end up with a kind of a documentary with off-stage voice and sometimes a slide moving with a pointer on it. Completely crazy. The last type of PhD is Jenny. Poor Jenny. Jenny is the bad luck PhD. Yeah. Jenny is born on a Friday 13. She did a lot of work to submit 5 papers, but she received 10 rejection letters. One day she thought, well, it's finally done with the bad luck. You know, I've received this email from a prince in Africa promising $1 million. Yeah, sad story. I was with her in a conference, and well, she really had a bad day there. First, she was dressing up, I was not with her, and she had a button of a shirt falling off. Okay, nothing. Then she goes out of the other room, and then the doorknob also fell off. Then she goes on stage for a presentation, and that's where her dignity fell off. But that was not the worst day. The worst day was the public defense. Of course, public defense for Jenny means, well, you first have a crash of your computer, then a power cut in the middle of the defense, fire alarm goes off, and at the end, she fell off the stage and break her arm. So I'm going next to her, trying to help her, and she looks at me, it was the left arm, broken, like with tears in her eyes, and she looks at me and says, you know, Francesco, you were always there for me, for these rejection letters, for this prince, also for all the bad days. You were always beside me. And today I'm here broken, worst day of my life. You're still here with me. I think, what do you think? I think you're the one who brings me bad luck. Well, the moron was saying that I'm not good at anything, and that's why I'm a professor, maybe. He was partly right, you know. I'm useless. I'm useless without the PhD students. Thank you very much. Good evening.